Hello. I'm sorry I haven't posted anything in a while. Life has just been crazy. Had a busy bank holiday weekend, but it was nice. The weather's turned nice. Oh my goodness, I love it. For however long it lasts, it might only be today, and then might get a few days of rain or storms or something. Excuse me. But it's been a crazy week. Did I say that already? Last week my son fell over at school and hurt his arm, so I had to go and deal with that. I think that was when I started not posting videos. And then there was the bank holiday weekend. Had to entertain those little bundles of energy for the whole weekend and Monday, so there was that. And I don't know what day it is. The whole week has gone by. It's just gone. So the last video I did post, I was talking about I don't even know if I can say it, anonymity, related to the internet and stuff. But for some reason it was silent. It's had a couple of views on it anyway, but I don't think you can hear anything. I recorded it like normal with the sound working, and then I played it back, and there was just nothing. I don't understand my phone sometimes. It better not do the same thing this time. I'm just going to scream. Because I just ad lib when I sit down in front of the camera. So if I have to do it again, it's always going to be a little bit different, and I always like it the first time, unless I'm having a bad day and the first time it's terrible. In which case I'm like, oh, okay, it doesn't matter. I'll do it again. It'll be better. But yeah, so my camera work. Okay. They're blanking out the sound. I could talk about that again, so you can actually hear what I'm saying. Although, as I said, I made it up as I was going along, so it won't be the same. Anonymity. Nobody's really anonymous on the internet anymore, are they? If they ever were. After Steve Jobs died, the Apple guy, was that been a couple of years since that happened? See, time just goes. Anyway, the point of mentioning him was, after Steve Jobs died, I was reading about him, like in the papers, because he was a great man and he did great things and everyone was talking about him. So I was reading about it in the paper, and I heard that it was in relation to the internet. I think it was in relation to him. I don't even know what I'm remembering now. I know I'm probably not making much sense. Babble. Okay. Steve Jobs, the internet. The internet was started by, I'm going to call them hackers, but I don't know if that's the right label. And I didn't know this before. I assume it's correct. People playing around with the telephone lines was pretty much how the internet started. Do you remember the old dial-up connections? I grew up with that. You turn on the computer and you connect the internet and it does that brr brr brr. I can't even do a good imitation, but you know what I mean if you've been around that long. And that was how you connected. I love that sound. I guess I kind of miss it, but the internet's moved on a bit from there. Anyway, but I heard that the internet was started by these hackers messing around with telephone lines. I'll call them hackers. I don't know if that's the right label, or if that gives the right impression of what they were doing. But that's really interesting, because it was illegal, obviously. They were making illegal connections with the telephone wires, the telephone lines. I can't remember how that related to the internet per se, but that was the basics of how it started. And it just expanded from there, I guess. It was these criminals messing around with the phones. So thanks guys, we have you guys to thank for the internet and the world getting really small. So that's, if you could make sense of any word I just said, that's a really interesting fact in there somewhere. So yeah, that was interesting. So yeah, now we have the internet and everybody's connected to everybody else, and you can look up on Facebook and find out, lots of details about people that you don't know, like on the other side of the world. Find out what school they went to, who they used to be boyfriends with, because everybody's connected, and when you're an ex, you have that whole relationship connection, on Facebook or Twitter's not quite so personal, but then they're sort of different things. Facebook was started by Mark Zuckerberg when he was at college, and it was just to connect with his friends. So it was okay that they posted all this personal stuff about each other because they knew each other. But then it's expanded from there, so you've got all these strangers across the world sharing their intimate details with each other, which is kind of crazy, I guess. If you look at me, you can find out what school I went to, probably what my favourite food is. I don't even know where you can find it about me, Facebook just has this list of stuff and you can choose how much to fill in, and I filled in quite a bit over the years. Although I don't really use Facebook much, it's good for having that connection, keeping that connection with these people that I used to know, even if I don't talk to them anymore. I'm not antisocial. I don't like to be on my own. I'm just not too good at talking to people. Perhaps from listening to me blather on, natural way on these videos, you wouldn't know it, but, perhaps it was just something to do with my upbringing. I just never quite had that, meet somebody nice, like at school, whatever, and you develop a friendship, and you leave school and you just become close. And you carry, the communication has to keep going both ways for the friendship to, keep existing. But I don't know, I guess I'm kind of scared of people or something. It's weird. And I'm getting off track a bit. The point was anonymity. I can't even say it now. I'm going to sound like I'm drunk. Anonymity. Something about being anonymous on the internet. You know what word I'm trying to say. If I try and say it enough times, I'm going to sound like I'm drunk twice. I'll just go for that. I'll just tick up the word I use. Did I say like that? Yeah, that's what it says like. So, being anonymous on the internet. Nobody is really anonymous on the internet anymore. Even anonymous. When you say anonymous, anybody who knows anything about the internet is going to know anonymous is these guys, and they're not all guys. I guess black suits, ties, Guy Fawkes masks. They really are anonymous. That's a 2-second word association. You say anonymous, and you think these guys. And even they are not completely anonymous on the internet, because every computer is traceable to its source. When you visit a website, you leave a little part of yourself behind. I have connected with I don't know how many websites over the years, and most of them you have to sign up before you can access it. There are probably some which you can just be a guest and you don't have to, register and then log in to access it, but that's the way it is pretty much everywhere these days, if it was ever any different really. And you're leaving a little part of yourself behind, because to register you have to have a valid functioning email account, and then depending on the website and what the function of the website is, you have to enter more personal details. You might have to enter your home address, emails to your credit card, but only if you're going to buy something. Most of the time, which is lots of websites out there for that. You know, and any number of other things. So you've been on this website, perhaps just this one company, you visited this one company one time to buy, I'll make something up off the top of my head, buy a box of chocolates for your girlfriend or your mum's birthday or whatever, you know. It was just somewhere that you're not visit all the time, but to do that, you've got to register. You've got to leave behind your email address and your home address, you know, if you're going to have it delivered by the mail, your credit card, and that's a lot of personal information. And they normally have, and after they have your details, they're going to keep sending you, like, emails every now and then just to promote themselves and their stuff. I think you can tick a box to decline that now. And if you don't want the emails, you know, if it's a legitimate company, there's normally a little something at the bottom saying you can choose to click this and unsubscribe, which is good. But yeah, so you're doing that, and that's like everywhere. You know, as the time goes by and the years go by, you've left lots of little pieces of yourself all over the internet, and everything is traceable back to you, which there's nothing wrong with that, because most people don't have anything to hide. You know, but there is a dark side to the internet as well. Each computer has a unique IP address. I think that's the right thing. I know that IP address is related to a computer. I don't know if I can remember what the IP stands for. It must stand for something, but I'm not a huge techie, so I don't really know. But anyway, that thing is personal to that computer, and when you go on the internet and you connect somewhere, everything is traceable. It helps if you did something wrong, like you know, a paedophile or something downloaded child porn or something, and that is traceable back to them. Of course, it helps if the police have their computer and they can see what they've seen and where they've accessed. But if you're doing it backwards from the other way, they can probably do that as well. I don't really know a great deal about it, but they can probably find out from wherever, because these people have left traces on these now. And if you don't want the emails, you know, if it's a legitimate company, there's normally a little something at the bottom saying you can choose to click this and unsubscribe, which is good. But yeah, so you're doing that, and that's like everywhere. You know, as the time goes by and the years go by, you've left lots of little pieces of yourself all over the internet, and everything is traceable back to you, which there's nothing wrong with that, because most people don't have anything to hide. You know, but there is a dark side to the internet as well. Each computer has a unique IP address. I think that's the right thing. I know that IP address is related to a computer. I don't know if I can remember what the IP stands for. It must stand for something, but I'm not a huge techie, so I don't really know. But anyway, that thing is personal to that computer, and when you go on the internet and you connect somewhere, everything is traceable. It helps if you did something wrong, like you know, a paedophile or something downloaded child porn or something, and that is traceable back to them. Of course, it helps if the police have their computer and they can see what they've seen and where they've accessed. But if you're doing it backwards from the other way, they can probably do that as well. I don't really know a great deal about it, but they can probably find out from wherever, because these people have left traces on these. Well, if you're talking child porn, it must be illegal websites, but I guess not always. They can probably trace it backwards from that website to see who's viewed it, to see, like, from the website and see who's viewed it, and because there's a unique personal thing to every computer which that can be traced back. So nobody's really anonymous, which is too bad for these guys who like to do legal things on the internet, because they can all be traced back. So, although that's not a bad thing, because they're doing bad things, so they should be stopped. But if you want to just, I just feel like sometimes the world knows too much. Even if you're like me, compared to famous people, you're nobody. Right, well, okay. I can hardly say I'm a nobody. I'm fine with that, I don't care. But, and I don't really know if I want to be a somebody because of what comes with fame. But, anyway, that's deviating it. If you're... What's the point of that again? Yeah, so my mind gets sidetracked and then I just lose where I was going with that. Yeah, if you're a nobody, you can do things on the internet, but sometimes it's fun to just be anonymous, not to go around like trolling people. But although that can be fun sometimes, but only if they deserve it. I mean, I don't go around randomly trolling people just to be a bitch. But if somebody says something, I suppose you could say if somebody trolls me, even if they're not doing it intentionally, I will say something mean back to them. I'm trying to give as good as I get, because I'm just not going to sit and tell you that. If somebody calls me, I think recently somebody said I was ugly. It was probably in relation to something I'd said to them, but that's not a very good example. But anyway, I said something back, I think. Well, I think by then he'd deleted the, it was on Twitter, he deleted the tweet, so, yeah, so I couldn't really reply, but I would have done. I would have tried to think something witty back and mean and, just give it to him. But, I'm not sidetracked again. Occasionally I get trolled, but it doesn't happen much because I don't go around the internet trolling everybody, just to wind them up for fun. But sometimes I think it would be great to be anonymous, because I think I'm slightly repeating myself now. The world knows too much. The internet makes the world so small, and everybody knows everybody, and everybody can know anything about everybody. You could probably find out what shoe size this 50-year-old woman in Japan was when she was 12, because the internet is that open. People are open with each other, although some people aren't, and that's good. It's better for them, their safety and everything. But no, that's the whole thing I'm trying to get at. It would be good to be more anonymous on the internet, because everybody knows too much. The world is too small. Even though I'm a nobody, and that was the point of saying that, wasn't it? I'm a nobody, and I don't care. I don't care if somebody in Australia knows what high school I went to, because it's not going to mean anything to them. But it's just too much information. I don't know if I want to give so much information out to anybody who cares to stumble across my Facebook profile, or wherever else I exist on the internet. There's so many places now, I don't even know. I just share what I choose to share, but that's the way it goes. Everything I did seemed like a good idea at the time, so there you go. I'm out there. Well, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, does it? We are just a little flicker in history. When you think how long the world has existed, and then compare that to how long life on the world has existed, which is probably not too far off how long the world has been in existence, life of some kind. And then, you put us there, and pardon me, I can't stretch out my arms very far so you can see everything, but if you say the world has existed for this long, and life has existed on the planet for this long, and we have existed on the planet compared to that to this, which is nothing. And if we don't destroy the planet, blow ourselves up before the world ends, one day you know, the sun's going to die, and what happens when a star dies? It'll go supernova or just go in on itself and turn into a black hole, and everything will be swallowed up, and that's it, you know. It doesn't matter, does it? We're just a tiny, you know, a blink in history. So what does it matter if the whole world knows? Well, I'll use that example again on Facebook. Well, it doesn't matter if the whole world knows that I went to Thurston Upper School via Facebook, because, you know, none of us really matter. Even the important people, which matter comparatively, it's not really important. All these little day-to-day things which everybody stresses about. What's, you know, Sandra down the road going to think if I wear this fluorescent pink t-shirt with these blue jeans, or you know, whatever? That's just a random result I just made up. You know, that doesn't matter. Just be yourself, be who you're going to be, and if people hate on you, just ignore them. I know it can be hard to take negativity, but just water off a duck's back. Just let it go. That's how I try to live my life anyway. I think that's why I don't like people so much, because everybody's nice. You know, everybody that I come across in Norwich and the people I sort of know, they're very nice people, but I try to avoid making that kind of connection, because people can be bitchy, and even the really nice people, they can be mean to you for no reason. I think I've learned that through school. School is mean. Children can be particularly mean, but I'm sidetracking again, but it doesn't really matter. And hopefully you know, the human race will all be long gone by the time the planet is destroyed. You know, the sun dies, whatever. But even that, when you think about the infinity, you know, how infinite the universe must be, our solar system is, you know, I was talking about life, now we're just a speck. We are just our universe, our solar system, the right word, our solar system is just like a speck in the whole of space, because it's so vast we can't even comprehend it. I love photos of galaxies because they just look so beautiful, but even a galaxy is so, compared to one person, it's just so big you can't even imagine it. And that's how crazy the universe is, you know, and there's all these galaxies out there in the universe filling it up, and every galaxy could have, I don't even know how many solar systems in it, and on all these stars and everything. I don't know how astrologers, I don't know, astronomers, yeah, that's the word I'm trying to think of, you know, NASA or whatever, caught photos of galaxies, because there is actually photos. I mean, today I can understand it, but I don't know how long photos of galaxies have been around, but how do they get that? You know, from the size we are, how big a galaxy is and how much space there is out there. How do they even get that? It's just astonishing. But it's so beautiful. Because, the galaxies, it's just, I think the swirly ones, if you've seen any, you know what I'm talking about, there's sort of like a white sort of circular bit in the middle, and then two bits on each side, and they just sort of swirl around it, all these stars, and it's whiter in the centre, and as it goes up it gets, the white stars are more sparse than everything else, and it's just so beautiful. I just like it. Excuse me. So, I'm still not doing it. I'm probably going to say every video that I should have a clock there and I look at it when I start, but I don't. Even though I talk about it all the time, I don't actually remember to do it. I must have talked for about 20 minutes, half an hour by now, so I'm sorry if you were hoping for a 5-minute video. Although, if you're watching this, you've seen the clock and you know what you're sitting down for. So, thanks for watching and listening to me natter on about all sorts of things. And I hope I made sense. I hope I made more sense than I think I did. So, I'm going to go and enjoy this beautiful day now. And as I said at the start, I hope my camera hasn't screwed me over and muted the sound again, or I'm just going to feel like throwing out the window and smashing it. So, Thank you. Have a nice day, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.